Hello human beings, Power Gamer here, and ever since the creation of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, humanity has been obsessed with combining things. So I decided to contribute. I combined a banana with ketchup, orange juice with cranberry juice, a pen with a pencil, and now I'm gonna combine a gasoline tank with fire. I should have just combined two puzzle games instead.
Puyo Puyo Tetris, the perfect blend of Puyo, Puyo, and Tetris. Two beloved puzzle games coming together at last. But where exactly did they come from? Puyo Puyo was originally developed by Compile for the MSX2, an old computer system, and Famicom Disk System, and released in Japan only. Compile later collaborated with Sega to release an arcade version, also released in Japan. The series wouldn't leave Japan until the release of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine for the Genesis in 1993. It was just Puyo Puyo with Sonic characters added. Now, Tetris was originally created by Russian development company Alexei Pajitnov in 1984. The game would later be released for a variety of platforms under a variety of publishers, but its most famous version was released for the Nintendo Game Boy in 1989 and was a pack-in title for the system. Tetris sold like wildfire and was the best-selling game of all time until it was beaten by Minecraft. Now, how did this game happen exactly? I guess Sega just decided to make a crossover game. I can't find that much information on this game's development process. All I could find is the game was originally planned to be released after Puyo Puyo 7, but it was later delayed to after Puyo Puyo 20th anniversary. The game was finally released in Japan for 3DS, Wii U, PS3, PS4, PS Vita, and Xbox One in December 2014, with a Switch version later released in 2017 at the system's launch. Shortly after that, the PS4 and Switch versions of the game were finally released internationally in April of 2017. Not the other versions though, just these two. The game received fairly positive reviews and was a commercial success, resulting in a sequel released in 2020.
Fun fact about me, I love Tetris, and I do enjoy me some Puyo Puyo. I have played this game before, and I remember enjoying it, but it has been a while, so let's give it a look.
Right off the bat, we can jump into either Puyo Puyo or Tetris. Puyo Puyo is about matching colored blobs called Puyos. Matching at least 4 of a color makes them disappear and causes any Puyos on top to fall, and if you create combos by causing more Puyos to disappear with falling Puyos, you'll score some serious points. If your Puyos reach the top of the screen, it's game over. In multiplayer, you just want to last longer than your opponent. By clearing Puyos, you can cause dead Puyos to fall on your opponent's screen. Dead Puyos block normal Puyos and only disappear if you clear Puyos that are making contact with them. The higher the combo, the more dead Puyos appear. Personally, I like Puyo Puyo. It's simple to learn, hard to master, which is what I like in puzzle games like this. Now let's move on to Tetris. I think everyone knows how this game works, but I'll still explain it. Blocks called tetraminos fall down, and your goal is to stack them in a way that forms a complete line. Once a line is filled, the blocks disappear. They come in 7 different forms, and the more lines you clear, the more points you get. The most you can clear is 4 lines at once, which results in a Tetris. You can also hold a piece and save it for later if you want to. Like Puyo Puyo, once you reach the top, it's game over, so you want to stay as low as possible. But unlike Puyo Puyo, the blocks don't fall if there's nothing below. So the only way to open the space back up is to get rid of them. In multiplayer, by clearing lines on your screen, you add more blocks to the bottom of your opponent's screen that they have to clear. The more lines you clear, the more that appear on their screen. So you want to get as many Tetrises as possible. As I said before, I love Tetris. It's super addicting and just a lot of fun. You can play for a few minutes or a few hours. I love it. There's also Fusion, but I'll get more into that later. Right now, let's just hop into the main game. There is a decent amount of modes to play. I'll start with Adventure Mode, which is the game's story mode. Yes, this game actually has a story. Adventure Mode mainly follows Ringo, a young girl who lives in a world full of Puyos that can apparently create portals. One day, after meeting with her friends Amity, Arl, and Arl's pet, Carbuncle, tetraminos begin to fall from the sky. The 4 of them are then transported to a spaceship known as the SS Tetra. The crew of the spaceship consists of 7 members, all named after the letters that the tetraminos resemble. Captain T, Snobby S, Loyal Pet O, Troublemaking Twins L and J, Engineer Dog I, and Robot Guard Z. Sorry, my fellow Americans. He's also apparently S's papa. The 2 groups introduce themselves and reveal what Puyos and Tetraminos are. As they discuss, the Tetra begins to fail and everyone crash lands on Ringo's world. The crew is separated, but after gathering everyone up, they discover that their 2 worlds appear to be merging into one. So they decide they need to figure out what's causing this and put a stop to it.
So as you can imagine, the story isn't that great, but I wouldn't really expect a game like this to have a story, so that's not very surprising.
The main bulk of Adventure Mode is just playing a bunch of versus matches, and in between each one is a small cutscene that progresses the story. The cutscenes are all just dialogue with changing character portraits. The portraits are very well drawn, the graphics are overall appealing, and the music is nice too. Thankfully, the game's pretty self-aware with its cheesy voice acting and silly writing. I mean, seriously, just look at some of these.
Hey! I wasn't done with my introduction yet.
Yes, you were! Ah!
Why do you single me out and be rude?
Not sure.
The time has come for me to clear my reputation by assaulting this young girl!
Carl, you hear me? Run! He's probably too fat to chase you.
Oh great, this game has body shaming. Adventure mode is split into 7 acts with 10 levels each. Most of them are versus matches, and the rest are puzzle trials where you have to complete the challenge under certain restrictions, whether it be clearing a certain number of lines or getting a high score.
The more levels you beat, the more characters and stages you can unlock for arcade mode.
And as you go through the story, you'll see a lot of different gameplay styles, all of which can also be found in arcade mode.
Arcade mode is just a way to play single match against either the computer in solo arcade or friends in multiplayer arcade. There's 6 different modes. Versus is just a standard versus match. You can both play Puyo, both play Tetris, or you can play one and your opponent can play the other. Swap has you alternate between the two. Party has these power-ups that can help you or hurt your opponent. You activate them by clearing lines or Puyos connected to them. The goal in this mode is to just get more points than your opponent, and when the time runs out, whoever has the most points wins. Big Bang has you clearing preset patterns, and the more you clear, the more energy is added to your black hole. Get more than your opponent, and their health meter will take damage. Once the meter runs out, you win. Fusion has both Puyos and Tetraminos falling at the same time. You're mostly using Puyos, but occasionally blocks will fall and you can use them to squish dead Puyos and move your normal Puyos up. I don't like Fusion. It's honestly just kind of confusing and it is so hard to set up combos. Not fun, I do not like it. Finally is Challenge, which gives you 6 single-player modes. Endless Fever has you clear as many preset Puyo patterns as possible. Endless Puyo is just single-player Puyo Puyo. Tiny Puyo is the same thing, but they're small. Sprint is Tetris, where you have to clear 40 lines as fast as possible. Marathon is the same thing, only you have to clear 150 lines instead of 40. And Ultra is just Tetris, where you have to score as many points as possible under a time limit. Yeah, all the challenges are just going for a high score and not much else. Other than that, there's Lessons, which give you tips on how to play the game, Options and Data, where you can change the game settings, and use credits you earn in Adventure mode to buy new appearances for the Puyos, Tetraminos, and backgrounds, and you can even give the characters new voices. And the final mode is Online mode, which is just online multiplayer.
Okay, looks like no one's playing it anymore. Oh well.
That's all the modes the game has, so I guess I'll just continue with Adventure mode.
After gathering the Tetra crew, I and a talking bear named Risakuma managed to partially fix the Tetra, but they still need a few parts. Just then, the Puyo girls' friends Rafina, Feli, and Rulu show up and start blathering about how the 2 dimensions are merging before leaving. After that incident, the team heads into the Constellation Zone and get what they need to repair the ship. I don't know how they do this, but it's not really important. They leave and run into this wizard dude named Lemurus, who's obsessed with sweets, and tells them that some people are causing trouble in his home of Print Town. They go there and find it's full of Tetraminos. They also meet the Dark Prince, who tells them the 2 worlds are merging before running off, with Arl chasing after him. The others then find Feli and Rafina and battle them, turning them back to their normal selves. Arl, meanwhile, finds a dark mage named Shezo and does the same with Rulu. Once that's taken care of, everyone finds the Dark Prince, and he tells them the person behind this lies beyond the cosmos, and they need a starship to get there. The main group returns to the newly rebuilt Tetra, and Ringo, T, O, and S fly off into space to find the culprit. They find this drooling space ghost named Ekalo and a giant fish named Sukadatora.
Skatadara's here to turn all your wishes to fishes.
He's my favorite character.
After fighting him, they meet this witch. Screw this witch. It took me 7 tries to finally beat her. Yeah, one of these letters should be changed. After that, the group catches up with Eklo, and he tells them that the person responsible for all this is the Keeper of Dimensions, who lies at the very edge of time and space. To reach him, they need to get stronger, so they head back down to the surface and discover Amity's teacher, Ms. Accord, has set up a training ground for them. The training ground takes place inside their memories, and everyone has to face characters from their pasts. Arl fights Shezo, Ringo fights her friend Magaro, Amity fights her friend Sig, T fights O, S fights Zed, and O fights T. In here, T wonders who his captain's logs actually go to, S begins to question if Zed is really her papa, and O speaks with this dude who is apparently behind everything. Arl also has some interesting interactions.
Finally, you and I are going to score together.
Oh, is it that kind of game?
No, she's mine. I will have my way with her first.
Looks that way.
It's my turn with her.
Yeah, this is weird. Let's hope Ringo's interactions are better.
Can I open you up and look inside?
After that incident, they manage to reach the edge of time and space where they meet X, the Keeper of Dimensions and former Tetris King. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention T is the Tetris King. X is the one who's been merging the dimensions. Why did he do this exactly? He was sad.
I was sad. I was sad I was alone. I was sad I'd been forgotten.
Join the club, buddy.
This act is hands down my least favorite part of adventure mode because it's almost entirely fusion, and like I said before, I hate fusion. Anyways, T decides to stay behind and take X's place as the Keeper of Dimensions, but the others don't want him to. So after one final battle between him and Ringo, the Dark Prince and Ekalo suddenly show up and reveal they created a portal that will allow the Tetra crew to visit X whenever they want, so that way he won't be lonely.
Sure, why not?
X promises to restore the dimensions to normal. Everyone says their goodbyes, and the game ends.
Game conquered. Puyo Puyo Tetris is a really fun game. If you're a fan of either puzzle series, I'd highly recommend giving this game a shot. And hey, maybe you'll find an appreciation for the other one. That's the beauty of combining things. I should really be more careful about what I combine though, so I'm just gonna keep it simple with butter and olive oil. You gotta be kidding me.